everyone, this is Sean Ryan, a technical writer on the content team here at mParticle. When it comes to data quality, many concepts seem pretty intuitive. Obviously, bad data is bad, and good data is good. But what does this mean in the real world? What are some actual, tangible things that companies can do to ensure that everyone across the organization can place their trust in the customer data at their disposal? My colleague Joey and I recently had the chance to catch up with Andy Wong, a senior leader on mParticle's solutions consulting team, to get his insights into these issues. Andy works side by side with mParticle's enterprise clients every day. As someone who helps world class organizations maximize the potential of their data, Andy has great insight into managing data quality at scale. We hope you enjoyed this discussion, and without further ado, here's our conversation.
So, Andy, what does data quality mean to you? And what are the first things that come to mind when you think of data quality?
So data quality to me means data that's accurate, usable, and universally understandable across your organization. And these are three tenets that come to mind mostly by examining the opposite. So that would be low data. So really what makes and contributes to low quality data, basically trying to just avoid any of those three aspects and kind of do the flip side of that.
What are the biggest challenges our customers face when it comes to protecting data quality?
Yeah, I see two major challenges that a lot of our customers face when it comes to protecting their data quality. The first is just the ever evolving nature of customer data collection. When a brand defines the scope of their customer data, usually that is at a snapshot of a certain point in time, and that scope is really only applicable and comprehensive for that short period of time until that brand's touch points with their customers inevitably change. So this can be changes that happen to their apps and websites through the addition or removal of certain data point collections, or even in-store data that they collect, either through transactions or in-person interactions with that customer. So as their touch points with that customer change, the data collection has to change. And that ever-evolving nature does make it challenging because you're always moving the target and then having to realign with that new target. And the second, I think, is just unaligned data needs across various teams in the organization. So each data consuming team in the org will have different customer data needs that evolve and shift over time. And these various sets of requirements will inevitably become misaligned if there's not a rigorous and diligent process that will continually realign those on a central baseline for data collection.
Andy, what are some of the business benefits of investing in protecting data quality?
Well, customer data, it's now basically a crucial resource for any consumer facing brand. And just like basic utilities infrastructure like electricity or internet, it needs to be maintained and protected to ensure smooth operation for your business. So data quality inevitably will degrade over time if it's not maintained properly, and that technical debt will grow to become a problem that blocks really any effective operations for your data consuming teams. So to me, this is another instance where the benefits really can be more effectively highlighted as avoiding the negative outcome that would happen when you let your data quality degrade.
And Andy, could you speak a little bit to what those negative outcomes could potentially be?
Yeah, of course. So really the negative outcomes of data quality degradation are pretty straightforward. A lot of it is going to be just in terms of usability. Your data will become just more and more difficult to use for your consuming teams, just because what they believe to be accurate and correct data may be collected incorrectly, may be misrepresenting what actually is happening with the customer interactions. If there are either bugs in the code or inaccurate or unclear requirements that were passed to the development team. So really, because the consumers of the data only see the final product of what was collected, and they don't see every step in the process of how it was collected, they have to be able to trust that upstream everything was done diligently and accurately, or else they'll be basing all of their analysis and all of their modeling and campaigns off of data points that aren't really representative of their customers' actions.
Andy, what internal processes can companies use to protect data quality?
So to protect data quality in today's customer data landscape, what I've seen work best is when companies build or create a centralized function in their organization that manages data collection and data quality for the whole organization. So in this model, data consumers would relay their requirements to that central customer data team. And then that team would be responsible for aligning all those requirements across all the teams, communicating the designs cross functionally, and also managing the rollouts and changes as needed. And so, because that one centralized team kind of has access and control over data collection as a whole, they can then share and distribute that knowledge down to every consuming team. And then all teams across the organization can be working off of that same blueprint, that same roadmap.
Just a really quick follow up on that, Andy. Who do you see best suited to fulfill that role in the organization?
So it really depends from organization to organization. This is such a new concept that a lot of times it has to be uh, basically a new team that stood up. A lot of times you'll have to bring in experts from different teams to kind of cobble together one central data collection or data quality team,
Hmm.
because this function just didn't exist before. In the old world, every team would kind of own their systems, whether that's an email system or CRM system or an analytics system. And they would have their own set of requirements and basically own those requirements from collection with the engineering team all the way through to activation in their downstream tool. Uh, so, really creating this centralized function that specifically focuses on data collection and data quality is going to require individuals from a variety of teams, especially individuals that are really focused on data quality and data collection and less so on the activation.
So this would include both people from data end using teams like marketing and product, as well as perhaps data engineers, people handling, the data transformation workflows and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Andy, what role does data planning have in maintaining data quality?
Data planning is a really foundational exercise for maintaining data quality. Really, data planning sets the building blocks for everything that your company is going to do with your customer data. So, without a universal data plan, there is no central source of truth for what data is being collected and from where. So, that data plan is something that should live at the center of a company's data quality maintenance efforts, and it should be a living, breathing artifact that evolves as the needs of the brand change, because that will be the central source of truth that every function refers to when they go to decide how and why to use that customer data.
Andy, what parts of the data lifecycle, including collection, transformation, and activation, pose the biggest threat to the quality of data? What can be done to ensure data quality is maintained throughout those processes?
In my personal opinion and just my experience, data collection poses the biggest challenge to maintaining and collecting high quality data. There's this unavoidable handoff between the teams that define the data collection requirements and the teams that will actually implement that data collection from the various data sources, whether that's apps, websites, backend systems. And this handoff is where I see the most data quality issues get introduced. Many times, the development team can implement the collection of certain data points improperly, whether that's due to misinterpretation of the requirements or just plain bugs in code. So, in order to prevent this, there really should be tight coordination between the data quality team and the development team, as well as a robust and detailed QA process to make sure that whatever's coded, whether that's in the apps or in the websites or in a backend system, is really capturing the data points as they should be captured.
We hope this conversation gave you some valuable insight into the topic of data quality. Maybe now you have a better understanding of how data quality issues can creep up within any organization, and perhaps you're even inspired to turn some of Andy's insights into new practices within your own team. Thanks for watching, and check the other videos in this playlist, as well as the links below, for some more resources to help you manage data quality.